Welcome, my friends. I'm very thankful to have you here today. I just, for the new people, want to make sure you understand the whole purpose of the channel. There's an unwritten rule of the channel. If you plan to profit from the information on this channel, you must follow this rule. It's a metaphysical rule for the channel, and that's to send 5% of the profits to one of these charities, pay it forward to one of these charities, or maybe you know a homeless person or something like that, somebody who needs money, pay it forward, keep the flow going through the universe. It also multiplies good deeds throughout the multiverse. And then 5% of the profits, say thank you, send it back to the channel here at the Cash App or the PayPal. That leaves you with 90% of the profits you wouldn't have made without the information anyways. Make sure you spend that money out of love, and the universe will send it back to you tenfold from all directions. This is the SPCE 1 month overview reading for the month of May 2023. It's currently April 8th, 2023, 2:03 p.m. Eastern Time. SPCE in the extended hours is $3.17 per share. And the shuffle file, which we're about to play for the May SPCE reading, was created on March 23rd, 2023 at 12:29 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this file right here. This is a pretty tricky, the last few months have been pretty tricky for SPCE readings. When you get a lot of sideways movement, that's where it gets difficult to determine highs and lows. You may see the high multiple times or come close to it multiple times. You may come close to the low multiple times. And what we have here is the Prudence card, which is, in a lot of cases, sideways behavior. It's also multiple false tops, multiple false bottoms, that type of thing. It's crossed with sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow, along a key support level. Sometimes price swings, sometimes it's within a tight channel, but it's about, it's all about equal amounts of bulls and bears. The theme here, so something tricky going on with a support level. Sideways behavior. Behavior around the highest high. We establish support at the highest high, at least temporarily, which leads me to believe we see the highest high early on, and I'll get into that in a minute. Behavior around the lowest low. We're looking for, out of a lowest price level of May, we want to see a significant move to the upside, increasing with momentum as we move forward in time. Let's take a look and see how we did for March. It's not our best reading. It's probably one of our worst readings in quite some time. We definitely got the highs and the lows off here, but what's interesting is you could see where I went wrong. Like right here, we have a high on the 6th. The 6th is the Ace of Swords. In a lot of cases, the Ace of Swords is going to indicate a highest high. It's also sometimes the larger labradorite will indicate a high. When you have them within close proximity to each other, it's a good indication of a high. So I definitely missed that. That was my fault. And then the lowest low we have on the 28th, we have the Princess of Discs, also another card that often will be like a significant turning point or trade opportunity there. Especially with this big move out of the following day out of it. However, this big drop that we had on the 17th, there was a really big drop here. We got that. We're on point with that. On the 24th, if you open up a long position on the 24th, you would have been happy. On the 13th, a lot went on the 13th. There was 3 trade opportunities there on the 13th. I mean, on the like day by day behavior, we did pretty solid. On the overall trend direction, not so hot. It was definitely difficult for whatever reason. Maybe my mentality was off or my energy was off that day. But we'll be doing better this time around. Already, you can see in the April reading, we're already pretty much on point. We have a low somewhere here in the first week. It was kind of hard to determine, but most likely here early in the morning on the 6th. You can see here early in the morning on the 6th, we have the lowest price level thus far. So there's it's a good indication that we're on the right track for the April reading. That's the shuffle file completed here. Let's get back into May. So on the 1st, we have day trade opportunity, which I'll get into in the paid version. There's a sideways S formation that forms within the channel. So you go from resistance down to support, you do a reversal, retrace all the way back to resistance, and reverse and do retracement all the way back to support, creating like a sideways S formation. Sometimes it's at a downward angle, sometimes it's horizontal. And there's a significant low, a prominent low for the month, somewhere here between the first and the, it's either the first or it's early on the second. We have a big move out of that prominent low on the first, on the second, to reach for a crest or most likely location of a highest high here on the third. So there's a crest or peak on a 1-day chart on the second towards the end of the day, and then on the third we have a highest high in a period of sideways rotation. We rise to meet nearest critical resistance, and then we fall back down and we continue rotating sideways. When we rise to meet that nearest critical resistance, that's when we hit that highest high. And you can see how there's sideways rotation along support near the highest high behavior, right? So that's a good indication there's a highest high there. On the fourth, also a science card in a lot of cases indicates an important technical price level on a 1 year kind of scale. So there will be an important price level at the highest high here. Or on the following day on the 4th, pretty close proximity to the highest high. At the end of the day, out of a trough on the 4th, there's a big move to the upside. And then looks like we gap down on the 5th. And the decline on the 5th ends with a fast, sudden move higher. Which either happens at the end of the day on the 5th, or it happens at some point on the 8th. Hard to determine where, but there's a strong likelihood of a highest high or another significant high here on the 8th. It might not be a highest high, or it might be close to a highest high, but there's decline off of it, offering a trade opportunity, which I'll get into in the paid version. Guys, if you're interested in the paid version, it's one of the best ways to support the channel. It definitely gets your name in front of us. We know everybody who's by name who's ordering these paid versions. The way that you do that is you go to our services on the website, tarotfortraders.com, hit the Eso-Meta forecast tab, come to monthly predictions, click on May predictions, and then pick from the drop down whichever prediction you're interested in, add to cart, and we're doing them as digital downloads. At least for now, we're doing them as digital downloads. We'll see how that goes. It's kind of right on the edge of Mercury retrograde, so there might be a switch back to a different way of doing it, but we'll see. In any case, that's a really great way to support the channel. And for the most part, these readings have a lot of information in the paid version that helps with trades. We're not right all the time, so you should always hedge your bets and be prepared, in case something goes wrong. But in most cases, we're pretty accurate. All right, so on the 9th, we have a prominent trough early in the day on the 9th, or on the cusp there of the 8th, 9th. So we go from a prominent high to a prominent trough there on the 9th with sideways rotation that increases in bullish momentum as we move forward in time. Taking us into another peak or crest there on the 10th, which may very well be another highest high. It's possible. This is the three low. It's difficult when you got sideways behavior. We'll probably see close to the same high a few times, but these are this is the strongest possibility of a highest high here on the 3rd, and then these other two places, the 8th and the 10th, have strong possibility of highest highs or close to highest highs, but they will be prominent crests regardless. There's a significant move off of the crest early in the day on the 10th. There's a significant move. It looks like, to the downside there on the 10th. We're bound by a range on the 11th. Looks like the bottom end of a range on the 11th. Notable price swings on the 12th. We have a prominent low, possibly a lowest low. There's just like a, let's say, like there's a higher probability of a lowest low there. The highest probability I think is here on the 17th, but there's a higher probability than any of the most of the other days of a lowest low here. So we might come close to a lowest low. There would have to be a pretty significant drop there in order to do that. But again, guys, we have sideways rotation here around the highs, so that's good indication of highs. And then there's a rally increasing with momentum. There's a pretty significant rally here out of a lowest low. We have a rally out of the lowest low there, so that could be a good indication of lowest low there. But in any case, there's a day trade opportunity there. We'll talk about in the paid version. On the 15th, we have a prominent trough. We either have a prominent trough for the month, or we have a notable decline there, or possibly both. On the 16th, we have multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. On the 17th, we have a prominent move higher, taking us to a prominent crest, followed by a full retracement of that move back down, taking us to a lowest low there on the 17th. That's the highest probable location of the lowest low there on the 17th, and we have a pretty notable move, bullish move out of that lowest low on the 17th. Okay, so multiple failed attempts. Let me back up. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance on the 16th, and a trade opportunity there. And in the midst of those multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, there's a prominent move higher. It looks like starts on the 16th, and then a full retracement of that move early on in the day on the 17th, taking us to a lowest low. And then out of that prominent low, there's a big move to the upside standing out on a 1-month chart, taking us to another prominent crest on the 18th, from which we sell off through multiple support levels into the 19th. In the 19th, there's a prominent trough towards the early part of the afternoon session, and a breakout on a one-day chart out of that prominent trough to a key technical resistance level where volume kind of flattens out there. Over the weekend, a gap down, and on the 22nd, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance on a 1-month scale, followed by a decline through key support on a 1-month scale. Decline continues into the 23rd, increasing in with momentum, and then looks like possibly even into the early 24th, the decline continues, but we have this unexpected move out of the decline on the 24th, unexpected move to the upside. On the 25th, another big move standing out on a 1-month chart to the upside. Looks like a prominent crest or peak there on the 26th. And then kind of like on the cusp of the 26th, and then there's this sharp drop or sharp dip there on the 26th. Bearish price swings or a sharp drop. On the 30th, we have a decline that offers an opportunity, which I'll get into in the paid version, and then another trade opportunity on the 31st. Out of a prominent trough for the month, we have a significant move to the upside, pushing for distant resistance. Almost irrational move to the upside there. The sneak preview for the following month, we have a resistance level that's highlighted that we bumped up against multiple times that we failed to break through. And when we take a look at the 1 month, so right now we're still in April, right? We've got this decline, a strong decline in early April, which you can see taking place here. But off of the low, which it looks like takes place at the end of the first week or early in the second week of April, there's this big move to the upside, taking us to a peak or crest towards the end of the month of April, and then that will lead us into like this kind of like sideways downwardy kind of like behavior that's going on here in May. No significant trades on the scale of the 1-year chart there, and it looks like if that high, which it might end up not being a highest high based on how low we are right now, it might not end up being a highest high that we see here in April, but we will see strong high price levels by the end of the year. I'm not worried about that, so I'm holding a long position, not options but shares. And I'm holding that till 55. It looks like it'll probably be towards the end of the year at this point, if not here in April. I would probably be... I would be bullish still looking at it. And I'll get into the trade in more detail in the paid version. Guys, for everybody that's interested, check out the paid version on our website, Tarot for Traders. But most importantly, my friends, the whole purpose of this channel is the rule of karma. Please make sure to follow the rule of karma. Thank you so much for following the rule of karma. That's 5% of the profits back to the channel here at Cash App or PayPal. Much appreciated. We definitely know who you are. And then 5% of the profits forward to help the world, help the multiverse, spread goodwill into the world. So help somebody who doesn't see it coming, doesn't expect it. And there's a bunch of charity links here where you can send that 5% forward to make it easy for you, leaving you with 90% of the profits. Make sure you spend that money out of love. The universe will send it back to you tenfold in all directions, my friends. If you got the paid version, stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the next one.